This is a CineD review, supported by B&H and CVP.
Hi guys, and welcome to another CineD video review. Today I'm going to talk about the newly announced Filmstro Web App. Now, I have talked about Filmstro before, you might have seen the video. Filmstro is a music service, an online music service like a stock music website, but it's more than that. They allow you to adjust their stock music to your videos. And it's an actual brilliant tool for people who know nothing about musical composition like me. So they have 3 different sliders, and those 3 sliders basically influence different parts of the music. So when you have your video inside Filmstro, you can simply play it back, choose from a variety of hundreds of different tracks, and then just slide around with these 3 sliders to adjust for what you're seeing in the video. And then you're kind of scoring your music to the video you have, without knowing anything about musical notes and stuff like that. Now, Filmstro has been around for a while. So far it's been a standalone app mostly, and there's one big issue I always had with a standalone app. It was kind of slow. You know, it needed quite a lot of power from your computer, and it slowed everything down, and sometimes it didn't really work properly, and it got frustrating at some point. Well, I know that they've been working on a web version of their app for quite a while, and they gave us a preview last week, and now it's actually live. It is announced, and you can try it out on filmstro.com. And I just want to show you what it's like, because I actually quite like it. It's a lot more performant than their Mac app. But it doesn't require you to install anything. You just go to filmstro.com and, try it out. But let's take a look. So if you open it up, it looks like this. It's, very straightforward, looks like an NLE basically. I would start with this search icon here, and when you click that, it actually opens up their front page, which shows you all the different tracks that they have available. Actually, this is just the latest releases and trending stuff, but you can actually choose by musical genre. You can choose by mood, which is my favorite way of choosing a piece of music. Because usually when I'm editing something like corporate film or documentary or something like that, I already know what the kind of mood I want to convey is, and then I basically select the mood there. I like that on all kinds of stock music websites. If they have a way to choose the mood, that already makes the very difficult part of finding the right piece of music much easier, because it narrows it down before you actually start listening to stuff. And in this case, of course, you can go to, for example, cheeky music, confident and accelerated music. I guess that's something that works with corporate films, for example, contemplative, all kinds of different moods they have here, which is nice. You can also see the beats per minute, which is important. This is something that not all stock music websites have. If you know a little bit about music, you know that the beats per minute are basically the speed which lets you edit the video basically. So the more beats per minute you have, the faster the track is going to feel and be. And that means you can actually add more cuts to your video. But let's go back to the web app. I've already decided for a track, but let's actually go to this icon here where it says upload video. Now, let me select the video here. Where is it? Yeah, I'm just gonna select the trailer of something that I shot 5-6 years ago in South Africa. It's loading it in here. Now, the term upload video is actually wrong in my opinion, because it's not uploading it to their servers, which would be the logical thing you think of when you're opening something inside a browser. It's actually just displaying it on the web app, which is amazing. So it doesn't actually physically transfer data to their servers, which also means that you can upload. I haven't tried how big the file can be, but theoretically you can use a very large file, a very large video, just to load into that browser and then play with it here. If I can press the play button here, the original track of that trailer is already muted. You can unmute it, because if you wanna, for example, have Foley sounds or dialogues while you're working with Filmstro and scoring your thing, you can just right click here and then show all controls. And when you show all controls, you can unmute it here. but I'm just gonna leave it muted because, you know, of course this already has music under it, it's a finished trailer. I'm just gonna demonstrate you what it could be like with a different piece of music if I were to use Filmstro with this. Now, okay, I have my video in here. In the next one here, well, actually, let's go here. I mean, this track I already pre-selected. It's called Siege. This is what I want to use, the musical track I want to use with this trailer. Here, the templates are new. I mean, this is something, if you have used Filmstro before, you know it usually starts with a clean slate. Now, they decided to introduce templates because it actually already gives you a feeling of how it could sound like. Because the basis of Filmstro, as I mentioned before, are those three different sliders here: momentum, depth, and power. Now, what is the difference between those? Momentum is kind of like the basis. It's kind of like the busyness of the music, right? If you have it very low, it sounds less busy. If you turn it up, it's more busy. Depth adds body to your music, so it makes it sound fuller, and actually it also adds the lower instruments, like the lower tones to the whole thing, because momentum is higher tones and it's kind of the beat also. And the power gives the whole thing more intensity, and it also adds more ensemble. Like if you have an orchestral piece, like this one is a classical piece, it will add more players, like more ensemble players to your orchestra to make it sound bigger. Well, but we're gonna take a look in a second. Now the templates, those, as I mentioned, are new. You can select between those. If you click between them, you already see the stuff changing down there. Now you see with action, you see that the momentum is almost on the top here. You can switch between the three, momentum, depth, and power by clicking here, or also pressing 1, 2, and 3 on your keyboard. That works as well. But let's just click here, and then if you go to the second one, that's the depth, you see that it's also in the action template, it's almost to the max here, and suspense as well. So it's kind of like giving you 100% of what you want to hear, right? So let's just play this back. So you hear this gives you everything this track has to offer. I think it's a little bit too much for this piece because, you know, like the whole trailer consists, as you already saw, it consists of mainly slow motion shots of animals, super slow motion stuff. And I want to build some suspense. So let's select the suspense template. Now, these are templates. You don't have to use them. You can level everything to 0 and start from scratch. But they are really helping to kind of give you an idea what it could sound like. Because one of the issues I had with Filmstro before is that those three sliders do, you know, I explained what they do, but of course they sound very differently depending on the track you use. You can use an electronic track and it's going to sound a million times different from what I am doing here with a classical music track. So it needs some experience. So having a template that already has some kind of keyframes in there gives you an idea what a track actually has to offer. And by the way, this hero template up here, this is kind of what you hear when you go to the website on the overview when you select your track. So it's kind of like a best of the track, if you will. The action is kind of the maximum of the track with all three sliders almost always to the max. And the suspense is going to be the lower end, right? It's going to be the minimum that you can alter here. But let's start from scratch here and just listen to suspense. So that's nice, you know, I'm just going to look at this beginning part here really, but I think it's a little bit, it's not enough, right? I want it to kick in a little bit more when I see this baby elephant. Let's switch back to momentum, which is the first one here. I mean, there's a new feature called Audition. You can play around with the sliders without actually making any changes to your tracks by using the Audition feature. So you just toggle it on here. That automatically makes the timeline, you know, gray. You can't change anything. But what you can do now, you play it back and you can play with the sliders. Let me demonstrate. So that's pretty cool. So I get an idea of how the track actually changes. And I'm gonna switch off Audition again. I'm going back here. So I want it to really kick up here. What I do now, and this is also new from the Filmstro normal Mac app, you click parts of the timeline down there. These are blocks. Now this is not frame-based, like video frame-based, like an editor, like an NLE. This is based around musical blocks along the whole track. Those blocks are several seconds long, maybe 10 seconds even, so quite long actually. And they give you an idea to make very quick changes to your music. So let me demonstrate here. You can switch on snap if you want to. When you do switch on snap, that means that you only have kind of 3 different levels of each of those 3 sliders. So for example, you know, I switch momentum to the middle, you see it already jumps up quite high, and I can switch it up even more, then it's to the max already. If I switch off snap, I can go in between as well. I'm gonna go with the snap feature just to demonstrate you now, because I want to show you how this momentum goes up when the elephant comes in. Now you see, you might wonder actually, well, Nino, you just moved the whole slider up for quite a long period of time within the track. How can you be more accurate with this? Well, let me play it back first. So this sounded way too sudden for me. I don't want the momentum to kick in that suddenly. I only want it to kick in when I see the baby elephant. How do I achieve that? Well, for this you have transitions. You first select the block, you go to transitions, and here you see the shape of the transition when this comes in. Now here, let's say I will switch this to like a linear shape. I also have different shapes here, round shapes and so on. But let's go to the linear shape, and here I can select the length of the in transition. And now it's M, L. I would say this is maybe kind of around the time when the elephant comes in. Let's listen to the whole thing again. So much better already. To be honest, I wish I could still edit on a frame accurate way, because that's the way I am as a video editor, as a video film professional. But I think for a quick turnaround, this is good enough, you know. And I think you can shape it exactly where you want it, or almost exactly where you want it with these transitions. But I hope certainly that the Filmstro team will actually watch this and maybe make it a bit more frame accurate in the future. But for now, I think it's fine. Okay, let's take it from there. So we just did the whole momentum thing. Now I want to change the depth. So for me, the depth actually comes in a little bit too early as well. I want this to come in a bit before the elephant, but not too early. So let's actually select this block here and lower the depth, right? I don't want more depth here. And then go to this block and select this block, go up with the depth here. And then actually you see there's an XL in shape here. We don't want that. I want it smaller. I want, let's say, an M shape. So it comes in a little bit before the elephant comes in. And let's listen to this again. That's a nice build up there. I like how quiet it is in the beginning, and then when you really see animals up closer, you know, the zebras, and then after that the elephant, it really kicks in. Now we can take this to the next level. Lastly, I will also move the power up to the max. And let's do this here, bam. Okay, you see that I definitely need an in shape here. I'm gonna change this to, let's put a round shape, why not? And then, yep, here we go. This is around the time the elephant comes in again. Let's listen to this. It's maybe a little bit too early, so let's change it to a little bit later. So it's actually, yeah, here I would want it to be more frame accurate, right? But let's see what it sounds like. That's actually great, the cut with the bird there when it drops down. So you see, you get an idea what Filmstro Web App is like, and it's very straightforward. I mean, you can literally just start right away. Just load some kind of clip or any kind of edit you have on your computer and try it out, give it a try. There's hundreds of tracks to try out with. And yeah, it's a really cool system, I think. Well, lastly, I think we talked about their Filmstro lifetime subscription. That's one of the things I love about it as well. Most other musical services, stock music services, of course, charge you a monthly fee, which is fine if, like you have a big selection and so on. However, with Filmstro, up until now at least, they have a lifetime subscription. So you pay, I think it's $189 one time, and you will have access to their service forever, or for as long as they exist, or you exist, whatever comes first, or goes first. Well, that's a pretty good deal. And the best thing about this, and this is actually the most important thing for me, you can use that music for anything. There is no limitations as to what you can use Filmstro music for. You can use this even in feature films, commercials. It's rights cleared for everything, so you don't have to pay more for that, which is of course the case with most other stock music. So that's pretty amazing. Now they told me the lifetime deal is going to go away in a couple months. They have some other plans. There will be probably a subscription coming up. For anybody who has, of course, a lifetime subscription, they will honor that. It's still available. They are not publicly saying when it's going to be gone. But if I were you, I would try to get my hands on it if you're interested in that kind of stuff. I certainly am, because it's a sweet deal. Well, let me wrap this up by actually showing you how to export the music and put it on your video afterwards. Well, when you're done, you simply click Save. Well, I actually have already done I've saved it before. When you save it the first time, a pop-up comes up and asks you for a name. But that's it, right? It's saved on the web, in your account, in your Filmstro account, and then the button changes to Render Now. When you click Render Now, it's actually rendering the whole thing. And when you're done rendering, it automatically generates a WAV file, which you can download, of course, and put under your music in your normal non-linear editing system of your choice. Well, that's Filmstro Web App. Quite interesting, I think. Give it a shot. It's pretty cool. Finally, I think it's very performant. And the funny thing is, you don't even have to install anything. So somehow everything moves to the web. I'm just waiting for a full NLE to be on the web. I mean, we now have Frame.io, we have Filmstro, we have so many other tools and services. We even have Film AI, which is a color grading tool online, which we're actually going to start a cooperation with very soon. But there's lots of services that are now working on the web. So I think it's pretty exciting what's possible these days. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to CineD for a lot more reviews like this one. We're also going to go to NAB in Las Vegas in April. So, very exciting. First time in a long time since, COVID hit, that it's actually happening, that we can go there. So very exciting to report about stuff from there, the new tools and so on. And yeah, anyway, please hit subscribe if you haven't before, and thanks for watching. See you soon.